Okay, folks, last time we talked about inflation. This time we're going to talk about inflation a little bit farther back, and that was in France in 1789. France was on a gold standard. They had solid currency. Everything was going well economically, but politicians did what politicians do. They got greedy, and they wanted to be able to issue as much money as they wanted to. So they came up with a new currency called the assignat, and they passed a bill in the French Assemblée, which would be the equivalent of our Congress, that a maximum of 1.8 billion of these assignats could be issued. Well, 6 years later, they'd issued 32 times as many as the law allowed. People were starving, there was rioting in the streets of Paris, and so the French officials went out into the Paris city square and they took the plates and they broke them in half and they said, no more assignats. This was not a good idea. We have a much better idea. We're going to come up with a new currency called the mandat. All right, so they issued the mandat. This only lasted 2 years. Within 2 years, the mandat had lost over 95% of its value. And again, the people were rioting in the streets. Now, in order to enforce this crazy money, this monopoly money, which is very similar to our Federal Reserve money today, they passed what's called legal tender laws. And the merchants didn't want to take this paper money. They were requiring people to give them silver and gold. And so they said, if you don't take the paper money, we'll put you in jail, 20 years. And a prison back then was no fun. It was a hole in the ground with rats crawling over you. That didn't deter the merchants. So then they said, okay, you go to the guillotine. We will separate your head from your body if you don't take our worthless paper money. And still the merchants braved it. So finally, the government was forced to break the plates from the mandat. And here's what they did. They said to the folks, okay, we have a great idea. We're going to go on a gold standard. Well, you dummies, 8 years ago, you're on a gold standard. Everything was fine. You ruined it. Of course, you have to go back to the gold standard. Pray that we go back to the gold standard in the United States. Thanks. God bless.